Good afternoon. This is Mr. Tom here with another video for you. This week we are going to be making bottle racers. I'm going to use that with just this little plastic bottle right here. It's an old Mountain Dew bottle. Oh, that's moving away from it. Old Mountain Dew bottle here. All right, now real quick, just before I show you my setup and show you how to do this, think about two basic kinds of energy you may have learned about. There's something called potential energy. Second is called kinetic energy. Kinetic energy, that's the energy of movement. So imagine you're on a roller coaster. You're sitting at the top. You're not moving yet. That's called potential, and you have potential energy. You think of it as you have the potential to move, but you're not moving yet. Now, once you go down that hill on the roller coaster, then you're moving. That potential energy that you had is now being converted into kinetic energy, or the energy of movement. There's also a special type of potential energy called elastic energy. Think of something that's elastic, like a rubber band. Okay, so now having that out of the way, just real quick, I am going to show you my setup and then we'll get started. All right, well, let me show you my setup here real quick. So I've got 1, 2, 3 small rubber bands here. You can use 2, but I recommend 3. It's a little easier that way. Also, a straw, 2 paper clips, 2 jumbo-sized paper clips, one here, one here. This one I've actually stretched out and made a little hook. You can see that there, and I'll show you why I did that in a little bit. Also, you can get these at Home Depot. They're pretty cheap. They come in a pack of 12 number 10 size washers. They're just small washers. Doesn't have to be exactly number 10, just any kind of small washer like that should be fine. Okay, so I'm going to use one of those. All right, and then the holes in here, if you can see right there, you should be able to see a hole right there. And then also on the cap as well, you're going to be using both the bottle and the cap. Now parents, this is for you. I strongly recommend that you're the ones that do this for safety reasons. What you want to do is you can use a power drill, and 1/4 inch size drill bit is what I recommend, and then drill holes through the bottom of the bottle and through the top of the cap. Okay. And when you're doing it with the cap, I would recommend using a block of wood or a piece of scrap wood. So that way when you got your drill and you're drilling down, you're not actually poking right through the cap and then going into the table. You want to do that on a piece of scrap wood. Okay, so that is for parents. Now, once you got that done, then you're ready to get started. Now, just real quick, I'm going to show you how to chain your rubber bands together. All right, so what you want to do, take one rubber band, squeeze it at the end, loop it through the end of the other rubber band. Get in a little bit closer here. Lift this end of the second rubber band up, and then lift it over. All right, and then we're just going to hold this up here and just pull. So now you've essentially got a larger rubber band made of 2 small rubber bands. Now we're going to make a chain with 3 of those. So I'm just going to do my third one. Same thing, just loop it through the end of the middle rubber band. Now take this end, lift it over, pull. Now we've got 1 long rubber band made of a chain of 3. What you want to do, take your paper clip that hasn't been bent into a hook. What you want to do is you want to feed one end of your chain into the open end of the paper clip right here, up and around towards the closed end here, like that. Okay, so you got your rubber band chain, and on the other end attached to it, you got your paper clip. Now I'm just going to go ahead and get this started. I am going to pause briefly after this and skip through, so you don't have to sit me, watching me trying to fiddle through. This is the most finicky part. I don't want to have to make you sit and watch me fiddle through feeding this all the way through the bottle. But basically what you want to do is you just want to start pushing that chain through the hole. And this is why I recommend using a drill as well, because that creates a smooth hole. If you got jagged edges where you made your hole, that can make it a little difficult to feed your rubber band through, especially these parts where they got those little knots tied together. Okay? And before I pause, this is why you made a hook out of your second paper clip. What you can do, once you get this in far enough, you can just reach that in there and then just pull it right through. All right, so I'm going to finish this. I'm going to pause real quick and then I'll be right back. All right, so as you can see, I managed to get my chain of rubber bands all the way through. So I'll see the paper clip is nice and snug up against the bottom here. All right, and you want to keep holding this. We're not quite done yet. What you want to do is you want to take your cap through the hole and then screw the cap back on. Again, you're holding on with one finger. Hold on to the end of that rubber band so it doesn't snap back. Screw that on nice and tightly. Okay, now this is where the washer comes in. Squeeze one and then just loop it right through the washer, and then the washer goes on top. All right, now the last thing you're going to put on here is your straw. What you want to do is you want to take your straw. Of course, you can have it any length you want. Any kind of straw is fine, as long as it's straightened. About halfway through there. Okay, and now what I am going to start doing is I am going to wind the straw, wind the straw. And what you want to do is you want to wind this up where you get lots of tension inside that rubber band. This is what's called elastic potential energy. You have the potential to move, so imagine you wound up your rubber band, but it's not moving just yet. It has the potential. It's a special kind of potential energy. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get mine wound up. I'm going to pause again real quick because this does take a little bit. All right, I will be right back. Oh, all right, so here I am in our discovery room. Now I've got this wound up pretty good. I want to show you inside here. Take a look at that rubber band, see how it's wound up nice and tight. So you might be thinking, well, how far is far enough? How long do I keep going? You're probably going to end up going longer than you think you should, but a good way to tell is if you look inside there, see how it's double knotted? Okay, it's even bunching up a little more, and then you'll feel that slow tension there. All right, so I'm going to stop right about there, I think. Okay, so real quick before I let this go, remember, you're sitting on that roller coaster. You're sitting at the top. You have what's called potential energy. You're not moving. You have the potential to move, though, and then when you finally move, that potential energy is being converted into kinetic energy. That's the energy of movement. Same principle here. Now remember, this is a special kind of potential energy, elastic potential energy. That rubber band is wound up tight. It's not moving. Once I let go of this straw, it's going to want to unwind itself and move, convert into kinetic energy. Okay, so think in your mind, when I set this on the ground and I let go of the straw, what do you think will happen to the bottle? All right, now that I've given you a moment to think about that, let's see what happens. And there it goes. Potential energy being converted into kinetic energy. Well, I hope that was fun. I hope you learned a little bit about different kinds of energy. By the way, makes a fun cat toy. My cat Vincent loves it. I just recommend doing it with supervision because there are plastic parts involved. You don't want them chewing on that and accidentally swallowing anything. But yep, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next week for another video. Thank you.